All right.
Motherfucker. Why you
So,
talk to me like that?
you guys, I think the way we pretty much ended last week was the execution happened. Um, John took his dragon over there and said,
Yeah,
"Hey,
you did.
do you want to watch this execution?" And they're like, "Nah, we're chill." And then we kind of just wrapped because game came time. Um, do you guys have any loose ends in the town you'd like to tie up?
Not
Like, what do
really.
you
No.
guys want to do right now? Because it's until you really tell me we're ready to go,
I mean,
the ball's in
we're
your court.
prepping the plan we've already laid out and going.
Yeah.
I mean, the one
And
thing that we
you said it would be trial by combat, so I would
Well,
essentially
that's
what?
here. Let me clear that back up because it's been a while.
Yeah,
What Alfred told you was if you guys can get over there and like he told you he could get you what you needed once you get over there to bring things to light and get said trial by combat. You'd have to be a little sneaky, um, but it's not. It's by no means impossible.
so
That was basically the bare bones of what he told you.
because that's the only thing that I know that we were working on was allowing Genie time to do the thing, which I know you've said isn't something we need to worry about,
Nope.
and working with uh, working with trying to go over the plan after we rose him back to ask him, okay, so what do we do now, and getting all of those fine points. But I don't really think we need to go over those as long as
No.
we know we've gone over them, so that whatever happens, we can say this was part of like.
Let's here. I'll give you guys a peek behind the kimono. Let's say you guys
Eh.
pull off the like sneak in, get the stuff. Like I don't have things like, hey, here's what you find. It's like you got the package, right? Deliver the package, mission accomplished. It's very bare bones like that, right? It's probably going to be theater of the mind. Um, but
so let's.
with any questions I do want to clear up any kind of questions you guys may have because I may not have planned it, but that way we can settle things. And if we get to something that we haven't settled, we'll wing it because we're good like that.
I say, would everybody be okay with fast forwarding to us planning the actual incursion to go sneak and get the shit?
I think we've already done that.
Yeah.
You
So
haven't, we haven't like done it, but we can do that.
yeah, so like we are now in the city planning to go get the package. Does that make sense?
You want to be all the way over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
in that case,
unless there's other stuff we need to get
before
done.
you guys ship off, I had one thing. So
Okay.
Okay.
that's basically what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So you guys want to be at that point?
Yeah.
That sound good? Okay. Let me pull
Fast
up
forward.
something. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of fast forward. I have to find something. Okay, here we go. So you guys are in the town, and this music is far too ominous for my liking. Anyway, you guys are in the town, and there's a great there's like a nice bon voyage thing going on, right? There's like a nice farewell. Everybody they've thrown a feast to send you guys off. Jerry Moonbeam's playing. He's playing that Wings song from Role Models. Love Take Me Down to the Streets, which is not a Wings song. And Babs is she's just got a plate of milk jerky out, but she's serving people up, beers and there's a nice big old pig they roasted and everybody's like coming up to you and they're like wishing you luck. They're thanking you for all you've done, all the people you've met and whatnot. Like Ace, Randy comes up to you and he goes, check it out, and he says some words. I don't know what he says. What's fun? He says higgledy-piggledy. That's his command word. And he like spins and then taps himself with the wand, and he looks exactly like you but shorter.
Fantastic! And I'm gonna spin and look exactly like Randy but taller.
Oh, nice. He's like, oh, how do I do that one?
You get older and taller.
I look at him like,
Ace,
you've never been taller.
He sits there and he thinks about it, and he's like, hang on a second. And he just drops it, and he looks like himself again. He's like, look, I did it. And he goes, I've been working on it. Next time, I'm gonna look like Babs, and I'm gonna get rid of all the milk jerky.
Leave that to her. She likes it. It's her treat.
He says, oh man. He's very Randy from Christmas Story in that moment.
Gotcha.
Very much, a hey kid moment for you.
Yeah.
So, you've got the two clerics. They come up and they've been like kind of just praying the whole time, and they're sending you all their best heavenly wishes they can. Obviously, they can't put anything on you that will last the entire journey. That's actually what I've got. Great. All righty then. Come on, man.
Sure.
It was right there. The first.
I messed it up.
It's
sorry.
The first, the monk in the temple in the second one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen her.
I know, man. It's cool.
Either of them.
And let's see, Argon, the
Fuck yourself.
Argon, the blacksmith guy. He
Argon
says,
Bellowback.
Yeah. He steps up to you guys, and you can see he's got something. He says, ever since you all rescued us, thanks again, by the way. It's very offhanded thank you, but he's expressed his gratitude pretty well already. He says, we've been working on something to help you out. And he's got like it looks like a sleeping bag, right? But you can tell that's just what things have been wrapped in. And he sets it down in front of you guys. I imagine you guys are like kind of guests of honor at this, like a head table kind of thing. And he's like, hopefully these will keep you safe. And what you open it? I assume you open it. And I wanted to send you guys off with considering that this campaign has been clunky at times. I wanted to send you guys off with some dope shit. So you open it, and you see a sword, a bow, and a rock. He takes the sword and he hands it to you, Braddock, and he's like, there's only one weapon for a paladin, and this is it. And Boz, what you get? It's called the Holy Avenger.
Oh.
You're gonna want to add that to your character sheet.
Doing that now.
Now, here's the deal. I need you to pick what form you want this blade to be in, because it can be any kind of blade you want. Two-handed.
Great sword, long sword, rapier, scimitar.
Yep. The only difference is how the damage is done.
Which is a double? Is it long sword or?
Great sword does 2d6, but it's two-handed, so no shield.
Yeah.
If you don't want that, you're gonna want a long sword. If you want to use now the long sword, you can wield two-handed, and instead of 1d8, you do 1d10.
No, I'll do the long sword.
Okay.
I'll probably just stick with the
long sword with the shield.
Yes, sir.
So, here's the cool shit. It gives you +3 to hit, which is better than what you got. If you hit a fiend or an undead with it, that creature takes an extra 2d10 radiant damage, which is dope. Also, while you have it out, anybody within 10 feet of you that's friendly to you, you have an advantage on saving throws and other magical effects.
Oh.
So,
Nice.
That can be massive.
Yeah, that also
Does
goes
that
for
include...
you.
Okay.
So, as long as you have this sword drawn, anytime you have to roll a save against a spell or a magical effect, you do it. You get to... Oh, I'm sorry. You don't do it. You get to roll twice and take the bet.
Okay.
It's the best paladin thing I can give you.
Nice. Thank you, sir.
So, I'm gonna do you next. Because I have something for you, but I don't know if you have anything. If you have something different in mind, I am open to suggestion.
Yeah.
I think I've given you probably the best thing I could give you, regardless of level. But he gives you a Rod of the Pack Keeper +3.
Okay, so I'll get rid of my +1.
I knew you had a +1 already. I couldn't think of anything better than those fucking gloves. But
I mean, that's pretty fucking awesome.
if you have something else that you want to look through real quick,
I mean, no, you already gave me pretty good gloves.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna sit here like? Ooh, I want the.
I was gonna say if you have anything of a similar level or similar
no, I'm
rarity. Okay.
I mean, I want the one or the fucking staff of the Archmage or the staff of the Magi.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
You're not gonna give me that.
No.
Yeah.
I can't.
I shouldn't ask for that. I wouldn't ask for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. And so he
I'm
gives
just
you
gonna
that.
trash that other one.
Yeah, you can't wield them both. So
Yeah.
And so he picks up this bow and he says, Your Majesty, there's no better weapon, knowing what you're going up against. He says this can be redone, but we've already carved a name in it. And Austin, he hands you a bow, and engraved on it, you see your father's name. Because this is what we call the Oath Bow, Austin. It's like the only fucking magical bow in the fucking game, aside from +1s. So basically, if you were to make a ranged attack against this person who you've sworn this oath against, they don't get any cover other than total cover. No disadvantage due to long range, and if the attack hits, you deal an extra 3d6.
I like 3d6.
Yeah. So, go ahead and add that to your character sheet. Don't forget to attune those things, boys.
Done and dusted.
If they need them. I know the bow does. I think the Holy Avenger might.
The rod does.
Yeah, the Holy Avenger does as well. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say attune them?
No.
If you click on the item, it will have a little box that says attune.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check it, it'll turn red and it'll...
What's it called again?
Oath Bow. OATHBOW.
So press attune.
Yep. And then you're good.
And now it'll change all your
It
bonuses.
should change any significant stats or any things that it would affect.
I'm liking that Eldritch Blast now.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll
Plus-
never miss.
+12 to hit.
Yeah.
Spell save DC 20.
Boz, you're not going to notice anything because except they put a little A over by your saving throw box. You have +2 on saves?
Yes.
What the fuck is that from? That's so good. It's probably one of your fucking paladin things. I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, on all his
Aura,
saves?
he's got Aura of Protection. That's right.
Yeah.
So, also, if anybody's within the range of your sword, they get a +2. Also, that's right.
Nice.
I thought we get an...
It's the same range. They're both 10 feet.
Oh.
So.
And we get advantage, too.
Right. So if you're within 10 feet of Boz, you get.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have the vitality with aura vitality, so I can give you an extra 30 feet.
Do you? I don't even remember what the fuck that is.
Yeah, healing energy radiates from you in an aura for a 30-foot radius. Until the spell ends, the aura moves with you centered on you, and you can move a bonus action.
That's right, it's a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, that won't work at the same time as your Shield of Faith, though. Keep that in mind. Because I know you're fond of that one as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Jack's playing a paladin in our new game, and we were looking Shield of Faith up the other day.
Gotta love it. It's pretty easy. So, hopefully you enjoy your new toys. And then the night goes on, and I would say it's probably like people are starting to clear out, and the only people left are probably by the end of it are you guys, Alfred, his wife, the captain, and maybe anybody else you guys would want there. Probably May and the and Babs and Ronka, the one who owned the bar initially. They're probably cleaning up and whatnot, but they're around. But so Alfred's like, "You think you got it in you?" And he kind of poses it to the group, but I'll save you the insight check. You can tell that it's kind of a pointed question at Mitsuha.
Of course I got it in me.
He's like, I don't even want to know what you got.
Yeah, he's full of it.
This guy.
Just not milk jerky.
Bab says, did someone want milk jerky?
Yeah, Miss Miriam. She said she quite enjoyed the smell wafting from the kitchen.
Miriam kind of looks down at her glass. She goes, I guess I had that coming. She looks up at you and she goes, are we cool now, though? She's like, are we straight? And you can tell that she doesn't mean that, but, she's going to get her jokes.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not going to be easy. Mitsuha, you know this. You two, you seem plenty formidable, but let's just say I admire your bravery, and I admire your ambition for the greater good. He says, I know you guys may not think the highest of us booths, but in older times that was what we were about. Miriam kind of like, he's not like shitting on her, but she like hangs her head a little bit more, and then she like composes herself. She lifts her head back up, and he like kind of like puts an arm around her and like squeezes her shoulder, like makes it pretty clear that he's not trying to take a big fat dump on her and the daughters.
But they did kill a bunch of people, including a kid.
It was the one person did that, and you've already killed that person. I mean,
yeah, Ace wasn't like shitting on her. He was just playing a joke
Ace
more than
say
anything.
Something? Oh,
No,
sending
with
the
the
milk.
milk
No.
turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she.
Other than that, he's
no,
kind
no.
of past it.
No,
like
she didn't take
work
it.
for
She
him.
didn't take it that way. She thought it was a good burn.
It could burn.
Yeah. She Babs brings it over, and she picks up. There's like 3 strips there, and she's like, she takes the plate. She's like, Ace, there's plenty here if you want to get in on this.
I'm not a fan.
All right.
Me and Babs have talked about this many a times.
Well, I figured it'd be rude not to offer.
Thank you. Appreciate
Sure,
it.
you got it. She starts choking it down, but then chasing it with beers, as if they were tequila shots, and she had a bad night with tequila at some point.
Gotcha.
Alfred's like, look, Mitsuha knows the lay of the land there. He says, I've got a stash. I've got a stash in the castle. In hindsight, not the best place to have a stash, but I also didn't realize I was going to meet such an untimely demise. He says, we can get in, we can get out. I give us pretty good odds. I can't say it's a sure thing, because is anything in this life a sure thing? He says, but you know, we get this done. I gotta imagine this works out better for you guys. Do you have any questions for me?
Not really.
He says, all right. He says once we get the materials we need, all we have to do is find one guy, present him with these things, and it'll be on. So we get the stuff, we find the Colonel Sanders, and he'll do the rest. Typically, I guess the council would pick a champion, as they were, but I'm gonna guess you boys want to take that mantle up yourself.
Oh yeah.
I would like to stand next to Your Majesty.
Yeah. He says, that's what I figured. I was kind of hoping it'd play out that way. You guys did all this work. You deserve the payoff. He says, I don't know what happens after. I don't know what happens after moving forward, but he says that city's gonna need a leader. He says, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it disbands. Maybe everybody starts over here. I don't know. But they're going to need some direction. And even though I haven't been out the game that long, I think between the three of you, you'll figure that out.
I think
He's giving you this vibe of
He wants to right his wrongs.
he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
He's never done anything wrong. The only thing
He just wants to fix all the problems.
the only thing you could really have him be guilty of is not getting this truth out sooner.
Yeah.
Before
no,
he
and
was
I
executed.
don't blame him for anything either.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's very Ned Stark
yeah. He's probably maybe trying to pick up.
to me.
Maybe he's trying to balance the scales his family is on the low end of.
Yeah.
You know.
If
But,
anything.
But you can the vibe you're getting from him is whatever happens, he's out.
Gotcha.
You know, he wants to
his watch has ended.
what? Yeah, his watch has ended. He
Watch
wants
ended,
to he wants to go away and kind of retire with whatever family he has left by the end of it. So, yeah, that's the vibe he's giving you. He's like, I'm gonna help you the best. He's not a combatant. He's a brains guy, and he's like, yeah,
He's a diplomat, a consigliere.
exactly. He is not a fighter, but it's like if you guys don't have any more need for me, I think we're gonna get going. We got a long trip ahead of us. You guys jot up a manifest of who you want to bring along, and whatever's good with you is good with me. He's like, obviously I have to go, but yeah. And he raises what's left of his glass, finishes it off, sets it back down on the table, and salutes you as he takes that one last gulp, and they kind of turn out and head back home.
So for who we take with us, my plan was to basically let anyone who wanted to come to volunteer to go back, like, because this is obviously not what a lot of people sign up for, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But they would have to get sign off by the captain, so that like everyone, all essential workers, or whatever, or like it wasn't just a drain
Basically,
of
make sure you don't empty out the colony, otherwise it won't survive.
Your
right.
Majesty, would it be smarter to go small, us in the booths, and we?
I'm not talking about to go and attack. I'm just saying
No.
if people want to leave, go back
If they just want to go back home.
to their old lives and just like, yeah.
Gotcha. Ace was saying more like we just take a small ship with the booths, maybe a few other people to help man it. What we have with us just paints a bigger target rather than and makes it easier for them to find us and pinpoint where we are and assassinate us. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Whereas the less people we have with us, we can scatter like rats, hide until it's time.
So, the captain's still there, and she says, mostly, she's gonna say this because Alfred already left. She goes, hey, well, y'all were out doing your thing. Alfred left me with this, and she kind of unfurls this parchment. It's a map, and you guys probably, it looks familiar. It's the coast of where Stone Shore is, because it's on the coast. And you see like an X, like off the beaten path, like it's away. She's like, the guy seems pretty smart. He's smarter than me by a long shot. He was saying just drop anchor over here and then hoof it. You don't want, I don't know, doesn't seem like a kind of kick in the front door kind of thing. Sorry, Braddock, no offense.
I
That's what I
forgive
was
you.
thinking. We get in, maybe act like we're someone else. I could get some documents together for everyone.
So the plan for the attack, to me, is separate than necessarily who we bring over. Because if there's somebody who doesn't want to live this life, because I'm not thinking about just the combat, I'm trying to make a way so people want
No.
Right.
Nitsua, I see where you're coming from. I think that is something we address after we've handled the king and the slavery. Otherwise, they're going to get picked up by his slavers anyway.
The captain,
Although-
the captain pipes in and goes, no disrespect, Your Majesty, but I think Dum Dum over here might be on something.
So,
Hey. He
Ace,
gives her like a wry look.
She
Ace,
looks at you like, really? That's the line? Also, she's like, you haven't been called that before? Okay, sure.
so
But it didn't bother him, but he was just...
I've heard him called worse.
Hey,
how about this? We will take the bare minimum to get over there, and we'll tell them and leave orders with you, Captain. We will, if we get to a point where we think we're going to lose, we'll send your dragon, Ace, to her to tell her that we've lost, so she can hoof it back to here, the Covenant, I guess, whatever we're calling this place. Get back to here to tell people that they probably need to go somewhere else because the king might come for them here. And then they can get in the ship and do whatever they think is best do whatever they think is best. So, how about that?
You see the captain, like, kick back in the cut, and she's just smiling her fucking ass off. She's like, I was waiting to see, she's like, I was wondering what y'all were thinking about. She's like, cause, I was gonna pull rank and tell you, fuck you, I'm going. But, glad to see I made the short list.
Wait, so she wants to come along?
Oh yeah, she's fucking, you aren't stopping her from going. I mean, you're gonna have to kill her to stop her from going.
So,
Gotcha. Then
But
Ace,
She doesn't have any
Ace-
plans to like go into the castle with you, but she's fucking going.
No,
More as moral support.
Ace was more thinking about leaving her behind just so the people would be safe. Someone to protect and coordinate them. But
say
if she dominantly says she's going,
So
No,
actually,
hang on, Austin.
he's gonna back off.
Austin or Ace, do that. Just bring that up. Just
Captain, I think maybe it would be best if the people had someone here to protect them.
She says, yeah, no, I get what you're thinking, but she looks at it like she's got her sword on her. She doesn't have like her armor on her, but she's like, I gotta tell you, this is more of a decoration than anything. I'm more of the Alfred type, obviously not on his level. She says, Argon's back. He can handle it. We're not gonna be gone that long, right?
Hopefully not.
She says, good. She's like, then, yeah. She's like, it's only a couple of, however long it took us to get over here. It's only that long. They'll be all right. They've got. This thing's basically running on its own now anyway. And now we've got more hands. So
that's what I was going to say real quick. Because one of the things that I had spoken to the captain about before we left our long adventure to go talk to the fish and get the people back was for her to talk to the town elders to start working on a new form of government that was representative, not
sure.
I'm the king and do what I say. So they would have had like time to actually get a new form of government running where they can take care of themselves.
So they've got that they've started that, but like that was right before the long ass dungeon crawl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you guys were really only gone like a week.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was like a month of game time. So they've got like preliminary plans, but nothing ready to institute. And Austin, Nitsua's he's been around the colony more than anybody. You would know that morale is as good as it's gonna be, knowing that their motherland, so to speak, is it was a slave colony. The good thing is that most of the people don't know. It's just a few baddies, but so they do have plans to certainly implement something more democratic. Instead of one person in charge kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's after the war type stuff, not during.
They figure they have bigger fish to fry at the moment, and it's it's not on the back burner, it's on a middle burner kind of thing. But yes, it is noted. She just knows that Argon's a good, strong leader. He's older, and he's got a lot of wisdom. And I would say probably at some point through here, like Korg has been through, so like he's probably met the kobolds, and they know they have friends over in Woodbreeze, so they're not so isolated as they were when you guys first got here. They didn't know. Oh wait, they did. The kobolds were aware that, but you have a new ally in Woodbreeze and the Fish Village that I don't think we ever named.
The Lokov Village,
yeah, Bubbleton. But yeah, so you've got two more municipalities of allies than they had before. So, and if anything, that Kobold alliance is even stronger now. So, the town will be fine, barring you guys succeed. If you guys don't succeed, who knows?
Everybody's dead.
Right. You guys will be dead. Who gives a fuck, right? So, as far as that goes, she's like, yeah, I've got him in place to kind of man the ship while I'm gone. She's like, honestly, the vacation will be nice. I've kind of kept it under my hat. And she looks up and realizes she hasn't been. She knows she doesn't wear a hat, and she's like, she like takes off an imaginary hat. She's like,
To the father.
she's like, being in charge and having all these people look to you for answers is stressful as fuck. She's like, I could use a break. She's like, let somebody else make tough decisions for once. I'm gonna take me a nice boat ride, do some fishing, and drink a whole lot. And,
That sounds good.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So you guys, I don't know if you guys seem pretty set. Anything you think you might need once you get there, we could probably whip up. And by that she means things like cloaks to go under the radar, or anything reasonable you guys think you might want. I would say you'll have if we get into this and you're like, can I have? It's like, hey, would we have brought this? And I think it's a little far. We'll roll for it.
Wait, Ace has a disguise kit, so he's got the stuff needed to get us dressed up, looking like commoners or whoever we want to look like. While we're on our sea voyage there, he's gonna make paperwork for everybody on the boat, so we're gonna have forged papers and identities for everybody. And when he's not working on disguises or forged documents, he's gonna be hanging out fishing with the captain. That's his entire sea voyage.
Cool. Do you guys? I mean, Alfred's still around, so if the answer to this is no, that's fine. We can whip up something in the morning. Do you guys have any plans to like get in the castle?
I figured between Alfred and Nitsua, they know a way to sneak in.
Yep. And
If
you guys are gonna have, I think, what did I say? It takes.
It was a couple weeks to a month.
Yeah, I think it was like a month or two voyage. So
Yeah. So
you've got the time.
Ace will make sure, and he'll get the proper forged documents. If we need documents to get us in to the castle, he'll forge those up. If he needs documents to get us into the
2
front
weeks.
gates, he'll forge those up.
One other person that's coming with us is that trader. What's his name?
Oh, Tipton Langley?
He's 100% coming with us.
Okay.
In the brig.
In the morning, I would like you to bring that up to Alfred, just because I want to play that out.
Do you think that's smart, Your Majesty? Having someone that could sabotage us on a boat in the middle of nowhere?
So, how much time would I have had to spend with this dude if I was spending like free time with him since we got back and during building the ship and everything else?
Yeah. So is everybody cool with this being the night before you leave? Because that's kind of how I set it up.
Yeah, that's how I figured
It's
it
gonna
would.
take a while to build a boat. Like
Yeah, we're at this point we're on the ship.
At
This is
least-
like 3-4 weeks later.
wait, you're on the ship. You haven't left yet.
No, like this is the night before.
Right.
We're packing the ship up.
Right.
We're
yeah.
readying stuff
So
to
I
go.
don't know how long it takes to build a boat. Let's call it a month.
Yeah, that's what I was
Couple
thinking.
of
Yeah,
weeks?
3-4 weeks later.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
A significant amount of time.
Right. So I would have been spending a lot of that time with him and having him like training him, having him go through stuff.
That's
How
fine.
is-
I still want to have this conversation just because I think it'll be a fun conversation.
I'm trying. For me, it's also about like he would have had to like made a breakthrough or had a revelation.
I'm with you. Like
You know
I
what I'm
said,
saying? I don't know how to roll.
You don't have to explain yourself to me, Austin. But I want to.
You're
have this
saying
conversation.
in this month
It'll be fun.
he has showed signs of you being able to trust him completely, and
Right.
he's breaking through. So you are pitching this. In your heart, you believe that he's fine. So you would say to Ace, "I trust him," and Ace is going to be like, "Okay, Your Majesty."
We haven't been role playing, so I can't give insight to find out or if I would even need to, or
Well,
what.
this is a side role
No,
play
no.
story
This guy
thing.
this guy's attitude about the light and whatever, and all the stuff you've been trying to teach him. His attitude is wherever you want it to
Yeah.
be. Like
Well,
that's in your hands.
So, but I'll tell the story real quick. So what happened was, for the first 2 weeks of our intensive training, he was dealing with a lot of remorse and regret and shame, and it was holding him back a lot. Like, he got to this point where we talked about growing up and how he was had a lisp when he was younger and he was always bullied and shit. And it wasn't until he actually like became hall monitor or some shit at school where he got a taste of having some power, and then he was able to kind of be a bully back a little bit. And what that did is that gave him some confidence, and it was the confidence itself that helped remove the lisp. But he thought it was the control, like taking, like being able to bully other people and like with the control people was good for him, right? So it really it twisted a lot of his perception and shit. And his father also was really mean to him when he had a lisp, and then was suddenly proud of him when he was hall monitor and did other things. So that on paper he looked good, but he was always like a fucking bully in private. And that's really what caused those seeds to grow, because he just trying to win approval of people that he cared about, and he was trying to not get bullied. And that's kind of how that's why he always responded to people who bullied him, and he didn't have anything for that. And that's how the king and the king's like number 2 bad guy really got this guy to go along with everything and to be their patsy, even though he didn't like it, but he liked the power he had. But they still bullied the shit out of him, and he knew something was wrong, and it got to a point where he didn't know how to get out of it, right? Still really shitty, still slaving, still doing all that stuff, but everyone has their story. And it wasn't until he actually, at that 2-week mark, he had a bit of a breakdown. Because he had a crisis of confidence, he had a crisis of faith, he didn't know who he was, and like he tried to commit suicide. Because he was like, everyone's right. Everyone who I've been around, they've been giving me these looks. I've heard people whispering that I should just off myself, and they're right. With the things I've done to other people, I can't live with myself anymore. And that's when I catch him. Almost in the act. He'd already did it. He took some poison or something, but I used the light to heal him. And that's where I said, now your training can really begin. Your life is no longer what you seek to save. It's the justice, and it's the desire to try and make the world better, to fix things. You see the potential. So that's where I actually start to teach him about this. Like, we change from dealing with his shit and talking about him and just talking about peace and like in general, and now we're like, this is a light, and I'm like, snap, here's a light, you see this? And then like I ask him to try and feel it, close his eyes and feel, do you feel it over here, do you feel it over here? We're doing some Obi-Wan shit where he can't see and he's got to feel this thing with his other sense, right?
Yep.
And that's how I slowly build up this sense of the light. He can feel the light when it's in a really compact, concentrated form that's right fucking next to him. And then I tell him to go out and try and feel that light as he goes around the community. And people notice a change in him. They notice that he doesn't flinch anymore when they call him anything. They kind of feel this acceptance, like he doesn't affect him anymore, but he doesn't have that swagger that he did before. He didn't have the confidence. It's something different this time, and what they notice is he has peace, that his life isn't worth others, right? He's got that peace of, if I die, I'm living on extra time now anyway. And that's when he really starts to show an aptitude for the light. Because not many people actually get to learn from someone like Nitsua, who has grown this quickly, this fast, and obviously there's something at play with his own journey and all this too, right? So Natsuo is really just pouring himself into this little fucker, and he is making strides where he can now feel the community. He can feel people and their connection without Natsuo prompting, right? And there's this one time when he came to Natsuo, and he mentioned of some. It felt different. There was two people, and they felt different because the connection between them seemed broken or something. And that's when I tell him that's how you find people who need to talk to you, who need to talk to someone because there's the connection is breaking. Maybe an affair, maybe someone stole something, maybe somebody wronged somebody else. It could be anything, and that's where we, as members of the light and users of this knowledge, have to go out and try and help on their terms. And that's why Nitsua talks to so many people, because he can sort of see those little trigger points where one person is causing a lot of ripples, so to speak. And that's where he teaches him to look for ripples, all this other stuff, and he really starts to become a new person, and definitely everyone can see that because he's now a listener. He talks very little. He listens to people. He goes and talks to Natsuo, and then he goes back, and then like people are talking, and then he says something after he gets some counsel from Natsuo, like, yeah, I think you're right. You should say something, and I think you're the person to say something. Kind of like a racist talking to other racist people, right? Or a white person going and talking to other racist people and say, hey, this is not cool, guys. So he has that.
They don't listen.
Well, right, but start to like try and make a change with the ways that he can. So because of all that, that's why he has to come, because he feels compelled to put an end to this, because this is sort of like his child out of wedlock, this slavery thing. He really helped the foundation of some of these things, some of these connections, and he actually put people away into slavery. And so he feels like his life means nothing if this doesn't happen, if this doesn't get resolved and justice isn't found, and the people that he put into slavery aren't put out. Like, it's essentially his life's mission now. So this is like important thing.
I don't know if we ever established how much he did, but he certainly tried to keep it going, if nothing else, by taking his piece and trying to hide it.
Right.
So, for sure.
So, all of that.
All of that. I'm down with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nitsua's got a Padawan.
Yeah, 100%. But we can have
yeah,
sex
but it's like,
and
man, I don't know enough shitty droids.
You're gonna have sex with this guy? Okay, Nitsua, that's what you're fucking
It's like
into.
if you put 3PO's personality in the
Let
one of
me
those
teach you
little
the
repair
light.
trucks, though.
a whole new use for Mage Hand, right?
Now all I'm thinking about is Tyra Banks.
I mean, if you want to fist people with your mage
So
hand,
let's say,
I'm not gonna keep shame you, Nitsua.
That's a generous way to go. So let's say it's the morning time.
Start.
I mean, this would be a
Alfred
start, not this.
You don't start going in. Like you.
Well, no, this is a start. What? One finger.
That is a good.
This, not the fucking goddamn cobra getting ready to strike over here.
But this kind of looks like a butthole if you have it all together.
I mean, yeah, very much so. But it's also the same hand motion that
Do you have a
Santino Morella did for the cobra.
Yeah, but that
You don't know what his hands were doing under that sock.
Fair enough.
So, you get a knock on your door in the morning. I imagine.
Poopy mage hand.
Yeah, I imagine somebody's up,
stinky.
and it's Alfred, and he kind of, I don't know who answers the door, but he doesn't like push his way in, but he comes in and he's like, you got a minute? And he's looking at you, Nitsua.
I got a minute for sure.
He's like, I'd appreciate the offer, sir. Unnecessary, but I might take you up on that later.
I sit
Okay.
down and pull the chair next to me open. I don't say anything.
He's
I
like,
just look at him.
he's like, the captain told me I might want to come over here and have a chat with you. You seriously bringing this motherfucker with us?
Absolutely.
He took my brain and hid it in an ice castle.
He did.
You
he
could
did
understand why I might be a bit opposed to sharing a boat with him for a couple of weeks.
No, I hadn't really thought about it like that, but it makes sense, Your Majesty.
Right. I mean, you just have to trust me. This guy has, I mean, he's done more shit than just fuck with you. I mean, not to put it too, I mean, a lot of people fuck with you. This guy was given something and he took it somewhere and tried to hide it. The first people who actually did that shit, he put down.
He's like, yeah, I kind of wish you would have put this one down too. He's like, you'll have to excuse me. I don't really like the side of myself, but he's like, I'm not a violent man. I'm not a vengeful man. He's like, but you could understand my trepidation.
Yeah, I might understand your confusion as to why him, but there are some things that are above my pay grade, so to speak, when it comes to certain things. And this, I could see the potential in him. You know my training. You were there for some of it, and you know that's what the light is. That's what we serve is the potential and the community that can bring that potential. This guy is one of those things that everyone else overlooks, but he has something to offer. He has something and knows something or has the potential for something that even I don't fully understand. But I trust him with my life now. And I hope that's good enough for you.
He takes a big deep breath and he turns and he looks at you, Ace, and he's like, alright, you, Ace, I'm sorry, I'm calling you is just rude. He says,
Yes, how are you, sir?
He says, I'm okay. He says, your loyalties to Nitsua here are well documented in my brain. He says, but cards on the table, you good with this? Nitsua's right there too. He's just kind of ignoring him and talking to you as if he's not there.
I trust his judgment. I too brought up the same worries you have. We're putting ourselves on a boat in the middle of nowhere with someone that might not be able to be trusted. But Nitsua trusts one thing more than anything else, and that's his belief in the light. And he believes the light has this gentleman on the path he needs to be.
He says, all right. And he turns his chair again. He looks at you, Braddock.
He kind of puts his hands up. Like,
your guess is as good as mine, folks. He turns his chair and he looks at you, Braddock. He goes, all right, big man. He goes, he's like, I haven't gotten to know you that well, but I can already tell you don't suffer fools. What about you? You good with this?
What? Sounds like you do know me well.
Well, you know, sometimes you make lucky guesses. He goes, are you good with this?
If you would have asked me several months ago before I knew this man, I would have said, fuck no. But today I'm saying only mildly hell no. But I'm still going to go for it.
He says, okay, so it's, y'all are like 2.5 for, and half nay, so I guess I don't really have a lot of leverage here, one way or the other, but this was something I certainly couldn't just sit on, as it were. Again,
Have you spoken?
What's up?
Have you spoken to him yet?
He says, I haven't.
A lot of people haven't.
He says, again, I think you might understand why. He kind of like scratches his head. He's like, I haven't gone out of my way to, pick at that scab, but I also haven't made an effort. Sorry.
I get it. There's a lot going on, and you've had more than most.
He says,
I would
guess,
encourage to and talk to him directly. See what he has to say.
he says, well, we're going to be stuck on a boat for 2 weeks together, it sounds like, so the topic may come up. He says, but, like I told you, I'm not much of a fighter, so you have my word that I won't, unleash these pythons on him. And he, like, flexes, and they are, sad sacks of guns. They're just very, very lean. There's no muscle there. He says,
I mean, he's been dead for like 6 months to a year, so.
He's a
Yeah,
bitch.
he wasn't very big to begin with. He's a pretty slight dude. He goes, all right, well, I guess I'll see y'all down at the docks in, I think, like an hour or so. He kind of shakes his head and he says, I guess best of luck to all of us. And he turns and he goes. You can tell that he's not thrilled, but like he said, he doesn't really have much of a fucking say here, right? Like, without you guys, there's nothing.
We brought him back, and
The
he's
balls are-
letting us run our show.
Well, and at the same time, like, he's probably not going to be able to get in without you guys. And even if he does get in without you guys, people think he's dead. So,
Yeah.
that's a tough hurdle. I mean, not that resurrection is unknown, but, you know.
Before I forget it, I have a nickname for Austin's Padawan.
Tipton Langley.
Rikakin Greywalker, because he's an absolute fucking combo of Reek Greyjoy and Anakin Skywalker.
Jesus. I just Googled Rika King Greywalker thinking it was some Jedi I hadn't heard of.
Dude,
No.
I was gonna say why not a Padawan or Padajon? I'm sorry.
Patajon. So we can forever tie this guy to John as a person.
Yep.
I am
Okay.
not going to name him anything.
Cool.
He will be Tipton Langley as far as I'm concerned. But yes.
Yeah. No,
you
I
guys,
was just
you guys
joking
call him whatever
around.
the fuck you want. He's basically Austin's manservant. At least in his own mind. Not that Mitsua treats him that way, but so
I mean, Ace definitely spent the first
wanna
week of
throw-
that sojourn making him smelly, and then Mitsua's dirty looks made him feel guilty, so he stopped.
you just
So really
prestidigitating odors on him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I mean, he's Genie's guy. He's
Yeah.
gonna fuck with him.
All right, so I got a 26 on insight. What I want to do, I'm trying to ascertain how, like, pissed off or against he is to Tipton coming.
Oh, I told you he's not thrilled, but he's also not going to do anything. Like you said, he's going to be stuck on a boat with him for 2 weeks. So either you got the sense that he's either just going to completely avoid it and just stick to the mission at hand, or perhaps broach the topic, in which case you'll be present and you can kind of be an intermediary. You don't have to worry about Alfred. Like,
Well, it was more just wanting to make sure that he got what he wanted to say out, and he didn't feel like he was being
yeah,
win.
he for sure did. But I mean, if anything, he maybe feels a little helpless, but he's also probably at this point, he's the most important. He knows he's the most important piece of the puzzle, right? So he does feel helpless about the situation, but he knows that he has bigger fish to fry. I'm gonna keep going back to that analogy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you know, you ain't got to worry about him.
Mm.
Yeah, he's cool.
Let's.
Yeah, so do you guys, like I said, you guys got about an hour before you guys shove off. Do you guys have anything you want to do in town? Any goodbyes you want to say? Because this
Ace
could be
would
the
be
last time
saying
you
bye
see
to-
any of these people.
Ace's biggest relationships would be at the tavern with Babs and Jerry.
Okay.
He would say bye to them.
So they're there, and
Randy, he said his goodbyes with Randy yesterday.
Who the fuck is Randy?
Randy, the kid.
Oh, Randy. Okay. It's like my wife's not in this game. She's like, so Babs
And
is like,
Captain's coming with us.
Babs is like, I hope you come back to see us. She goes, I pack you something special, and she hands you this little tiny wrapped parcel, and she goes, here.
Why, thank you, Babs. And he's gonna lean in. And he's gonna be like, Jeannie's got extra feathers when you need them.
She says open.
And he opens it up.
You find actual beef jerky.
Oh.
He smells it like the smell. As soon as he opens it, he's like,
As soon as you open it,
Oh
you're
my
hit with
God. He's-
teriyaki, black pepper, garlic, all the good shit.
he's got just a big smile, and he just leans down, picks Babs up for a hug. And, I mean, I'll pick Babs up anytime.
The strength
How you
check.
doing, sweet
I would-
eyes?
I might call him up, but I wouldn't try and pick him up without his, permission, because he might not.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, so you lift her up, and she says, "I know you don't like the like my special. I'll work on them. Maybe once you get back, I have a new recipe I can convince you. But in the meantime, you take that."
Maybe.
She says, I put money in there to share, so when they get back, I expect them to hear that you shared.
I'll give him each a piece.
She says, okay, that's good. Jerry Moonbeam is sobbing. He's like, how's Jerry Moonbeam gonna? This is a big crowd. It's double the size. I've got Jerry Moonbeam. He's pretty broken up. You can tell that he doesn't know how he's gonna pull this act off solo and entertain these people. 3 to 4 times.
Ace
a
is
week.
gonna do a big spin and take on his costume of Alistair Moonbeam. One more for the road, and he's just gonna go into an acapella of Seven Bridges Road by the Eagles with Jerry Moonbeam,
Sure.
and let him pick up like after he starts.
Right. He joins you at Stars in the Sky. Yeah, so you guys belt that out, and he calms himself, and he sticks out a hand, and he just says, Ace, because every other time you've shaken his hand, he's said his own name. And he's like, go get him. He's
Will
turned into
do,
less
Jerry.
of a Pokemon at this point.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, where's our boy, the cartographer?
he's there.
Right here.
Vegan. He's
I forgot his
around.
name already.
I mean, if you want to talk to him, you can.
Just I just want to let him know to make sure to chart everything while we're gone.
He says,
He already did it in his imagination.
okay, yeah, if there's any expeditions, your boy will be on them. I don't remember his voice, but I think it's something like that.
No, something like that.
That
Yeah.
was pretty spot on. Yeah,
I remember.
from what I remember.
Yeah. He says, I'm gonna have maps on maps on maps when you guys get back on back, and he like finger guns you. Even though the
Holster
gun's
them,
not-
big boy.
Well, that's
He blows
good
on the
because I
barrels
plan
and
on exploring
puts them in.
as much of this land as I can.
He says, no need, I'll take care of it. And he walks away, and he's like whistling, like he's feeling pretty high on life right now.
God, he's an idiot.
Yeah. Idiot NPCs are the best NPCs to play. Yeah, unless there's anybody else you guys want to talk to, whenever you're ready, the captain and Alfred and Tipton will be ready to set set sail. You guys, the boat is appropriately sized for a 6-man crew. It just works because it's D&D. Yeah. So if you guys are done,
That works because we got like 10 people.
You got 10 people.
9. Well, the booths are 4.
Oh, are you taking the whole family?
I figured the booths were coming. I don't know who else coming. Is it just mom and dad?
Dad was ready to go solo, but you guys can take whoever you want, and we'll just assume you talked about it.
Yeah, I have. That's up to them. I just thought you had said the booths were coming.
No.
So I was thinking the booths are 4, and then us and the captain.
I think he would actually leave them home, just because to keep a smaller party. And
Okay.
if you guys feel the need to enact
So
justice
then,
on them,
6.
you know where they'll be.
Well, about that, I would have told Al where we buried his daughter, and then also his rest of his family where she was buried, and where the village of the what are the hobbits? What are they called?
Woodbreeze.
The Shire.
Halflings.
Yes, the Shire.
Yeah, where the halflings were, and like let them know if they wanted to go, they could how to get there, kind of thing.
So here's in my mind how this happened. You guys, I think here's how this happened. You guys did the deed. You made the small but nice grave marker, whatever you did, and I like to imagine that you guys maybe commandeered a map from Regan and just put a little X on it and probably dropped it off that night.
Yeah.
So what they did was, as a family, they went out there after mom and dad left the bar. They left you guys at the bar. They went out there just as a family, spent some time, and then they came back.
I put a little asterisk at the bottom, and there's a little asterisk by the X where she's buried, and the asterisk says, "Don't bring this one back to life."
Anti-evanescence.
Yeah,
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so, but that's okay. It's your game.
No, you wouldn't do that. I would do that though.
It seems out of character, but don't let me tell you how to play your character. So yeah, that's what they did.
I mean, I like it for Nitsua. Let him do some fucked up shit. Let him be evil.
Let
him turn evil. He's got a Padawan now. It's time to go Sith. It takes 2.
So
Master Apprentice, let's go.
Everybody is ready to shove off, and I think I told you guys that when you guys are ready to go, we're just gonna skip over the voyage, and you're gonna go.
Yeah, we're going.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's why I was telling you what I was prepping for the voyage earlier. Like that's what Ace is doing. He's spending time with the captain. She specifically mentioned fishing, so he's going to make a point to hang out with her while she's doing that and probably scare all the fish away by talking.
Yeah, that's just a thing dads tell their kids so they don't talk, so you're good.
I'm aware.
So, you got a what would we say, 6-7-man crew. The boat's appropriately sized, so there's some work to be done just because you got to sail. But yeah, you guys arrive and you land where he said, and he says you guys hit the dock, and he says, "All right, Nitsua." He says, "This may be fucked up. I don't know. Maybe it's not. It feels a little yucky, but all the evidence," and he kind of does air quotes. It's under your old bed, man.
It's a little weird.
He's like, I know, but I can't imagine a safer place. I mean, who's gonna fuck with you, right?
Sure.
So we just gotta get there. I figure Ace has provided these nice disguises, so just getting in the city walls, that's not gonna be a problem.
Once we get close, I
the,
can make us invisible.
You know the city is like big. It's big city, so like people are coming and going. It's not like water deep big, but it's big. So like it's not like you have people like at the border like checking passports and shit. So you guys get there. He says, "All right." He says, "I say we wait till night, and I think the best way is to just scale this bitch." He says, "That window's not too high." He says, "I'll do it myself, or you can do it. Whoever can do it."
Maybe the genie can help you guys, because I can fly.
He's not here. I can fly.
Genie can't. The genie can't help us fly.
Austin,
He can talk.
You can't fly.
Sorry.
No, John can fly.
Yes, John can fly.
Genie can't. Genie's not here. Genie doesn't help us with stuff like that.
But you have him on your belt, right?
I have the lamp,
Right.
but he would have stayed back at Stone Shore. Ace would have had him stay at Stone Shore.
Shoebill Coast?
Or Shoebill Coast. That's where he was
Really?
doing his sojourn. He's not. Genie is not meant. Like, me having a genie as a patron is not meant for him to get involved and really benefit us in instances like this.
I know that, and we've talked about this.
Now,
I just can't believe
you have
didn't
him
bring
here. You're the DM, Adam. You control him. If he's in there, he's in there.
I mean,
but Ace would be under the assumption that he's not there unless Genie made it known differently.
I'll tell you this, John. Let's go back. Let's go back real quick.
Okay.
You guys are in your house before you set sail, and you say, he pops out. You're packing your bag or whatever, and he's like, man, I hope you get it done. And he says,
we have to.
Yeah, I know. He says, I wish I could be more help to you. He says,
So do we.
Do you? I mean, aside from moral support, man.
I get you. I'm kidding.
He says, do you want me there or not? He says, this is your fight. You're the man now, dog. He says,
well, Genie, that's your decision.
He says,
you're one of my greatest friends. I always love having you by my side, but if you need to be here, I know I'd sleep better knowing the people are safe.
He says, okay, this will be fun, because I think you're pretty good at this. Ace would want Genie to stay, right?
Ace does not care either way.
I was just gonna say, you can roll a fucking persuasion check if you want him to stay.
No, Ace is not going to try to persuade him in either way, outside of saying he thinks that the people of Shoebill Coast need him more than Ace does right now.
Okay.
This is Ace's chance to. I think this is my moment to prove to you and everyone that you made the right choice.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, and I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna roll a dice right now to see whether or not he stays or surreptitiously sneaks back into the lamp on your belt.
Yep.
Okay, I have my result.
I like the idea that he stays there, and like we come back, and there's like 3-story houses built, and like
it's a metropolis.
Like there's all this crazy shit. He's like, yeah, I figured all this out. You know, the transistor, electricity, and lightning are the same thing. I found a way to store it.
Like, you guys didn't figure out nuclear fission, like
I just not training someone gave me all this time to think.
Right. So I know where Genie is. You guys don't.
Okay.
I can fly up to the window and lower a rope down.
He says, Alfred's like, here's the thing, man. It's just a box under his bed. He describes it to you as like a little red wooden box. He says, it says AB on it. He says it's got a lock, and he like pulls a.
And Ace disappears, and he casts his flight and invisibility, and he's gone.
He said Alfred looks at Braddock and Itsua, and he's like, man, I thought that was gonna be pretty cool, and he's like, I was gonna tell him it's locked, and he like pulls a key off a rope on his neck. He's like, and here's your key. He's like, but I guess he didn't see that. He's like, all right, he is the showman, I guess. We'll leave it to him.
And unless I run into
no,
issues,
you do that.
he reappears.
You totally do it. It's fine.
There you go.
He says, cool. Wow. I never thought this would be that fucking easy. He says,
Me either.
he says, all right.
That's
He says,
scary.
He says, all right, we got to get over to the Colonel's house. It's a little late. Like, it's probably like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. And he's like, I think the quicker we do this, the better. And he opposed. He's like, we get to him tonight. He can get everything started in the morning.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you get over there. Alfred goes, anybody mind if I take the lead here? He says, actually, Mitsuo, why don't you do this? He's like, they don't know I'm back yet. And he makes like this weird, like, because everybody still thinks he's fucking dead.
Sure.
No.
So,
Hey, real quick, out of character. I'm guessing we're gonna end up going another session with this because it's 8:40.
I know where we're at. I think we'll be. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we got to get a final fight and a prologue and all that stuff. Do you guys want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we can do
Go.
that. And
Like a
then,
bathroom break?
yeah, that's
If-
fine.
Sure.
Smoke
We
break?
can, yeah. I mean, if that's cool by me too. We can.
I mean-
fucking just save the fight and the prologue for another session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm
That way
saying
we don't have to
role
rush
play-
it.
We can
I
role
was
play
gonna say,
some
I
more
don't-
tonight.
I don't want to
wanna
rush it
try
too
to
much.
squeeze that fight into the next.
That's totally fine.
Just because I don't think that'd be fair to
I-
your
I
campaign,
think
Adam.
you're 100% correct. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just
I'll
wanted
go
to bring
piss.
that up now before we started.
Yeah, go for it.
Probably a good
towards that.
idea.
Yep.
Oh man, everyone's gone. That's what I was gonna say. That'd be fine to go a little long, but a whole other session would be even better.
Yeah, I think it is the right move. It's better to have two shorter, fulfilling sessions than one
Right.
longer. Maybe you didn't get everything you wanted to get done. He's
Yep.
right. He's not right a lot, but credit where it's due.
It's like The Hobbit.
Right. It's super fucking long. I didn't watch those movies. I bought them all on Vudu. I just still haven't watched them.
Yeah, I got them too. I like them. I
I'm
don't care
sure
what
I'll
everybody
like
says.
them. I heard they're just not as good as the
No, they're
OG trilogy.
not. The best part of it is,
Smaug.
no,
I heard
Bilbo.
Smaug- I heard Smaug's a fantastic villain.
He's
Like,
pretty awesome.
I don't know how Austin. How different is Smaug from the books to the movie?
No, he's good.
The,
I mean, that's fine. There's like I mean, the biggest thing that so Bolg was killed by Thorin's uncle after Bolg killed Thorin's father, right? And then Azog is actually Bolg's son. But in the movies, they make Bolg just come back out of nowhere and just want to end Thorin's line for no fucking reason. There's no reason for him to want to do that. Whereas what might have actually happened is that Azog was trying to avenge his father's death, while Thorin is trying to avenge his father's death, and they could have made this thing where it was about family lines trying to survive or avenge their fallen fathers, which makes a lot of sense for these things. But do they do any of that? Fuck no, they don't do any of that.
That's how I felt about Tom Bombadil not being in the original trilogy. Fucking love Tom Bombadil. I was happy when I found out that Radagast was in the Hobbit though,
Yes, he is.
because fucking when I read the Lord of the Rings, I fucking love me some Radagast. I'm like, yeah, I get it. He's Saint Francis. You're pretty heavy-handed with this symbolism here, but it's cool. I dig him. He's still fucking cool.
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
Oh, you're good. So
Yeah, sorry, Adam. I wasn't stepping on your toes.
No,
I just
you're-
figured that might be a good idea.
You are correct. I won't tell you you're right a lot.
This
but
one time,
you're correct.
you were correct.
So yeah, you knock on the door and you see a older guy with curly white hair and a tiny goatee and glasses, and he says, "I say, what is the meaning of this?" "Oh, hello. Your Majesty, didn't expect to see your face here. What can I do for you? When did you get back? What's going on?"
These are all excellent questions, as usual, Colonel. And under the circumstances, they might be best indoors.
He says, yeah, that's fine. Come in. You go into his house. You smell a lovely aroma of herbs and spices. And he sits you down at the table. He's like, I don't have much. You guys want like a biscuit and maybe a Pepsi product?
Yeah, if you have Coke Zero, I'd really appreciate
I'm
some.
sorry.
I'll take a
is
Sierra
Pe-
Mist.
Is Pepsi Max, okay.
No,
Do
nothing.
you have any chicken?
No, fresh out. Actually, sorry.
Cold chicken with
I can
pickle?
offer you.
How could the Colonel be out of chicken? It's just
Nighttime.
preposterous.
I'm sorry. I can offer you a biscuit and some of the finest brown gravy you will ever taste in your life.
I'll be the judge of that.
He brings it to you. He sets out some biscuits and some gravy to dunk them in. And he brings Braddock his Sierra Mist. And,
Starry.
yeah,
Thank you.
sorry now. Actually, he's got some old Sierra Mist left. And he's like, this is a nice, particularly nice vintage. I hope you enjoy.
It tastes, I'm pretty sure, as terrible as if it was fresh.
No. Oh, yes. It tastes exactly like a fresh Sierra Mist, which is mediocre at best.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it is certainly the bottom of the three major lemon lime sodas.
I mean, it's below every off-brand I've tried.
I don't know.
For
I've
me-
only really had Sprite, 7-Up, and Starry. It's not.
Like Vess and whatnot.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
What about like Mellow Yellow was terrible too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't-
that's
I don't do Mountain Dew. or
off-brand
Mellow
Mountain
Yellow,
Dew.
but,
Same.
So anyway, but the gravy is the best fucking gravy because KFC has the best fucking gravy.
Oh my, this stuff's amazing. It's so tangy.
Yeah, it's a long family secret. He says, I don't mean to be rude, but we are in my home.
But here we are.
Mitsuha, who's your friend? And Alfred's kept his hood on this whole time. He says, who are your friends here? He's
Well,
asking
it
about
seems
the other three in the party, or he's asking about Ace and Braddock too. He just doesn't know them.
It seems it's my turn to introduce you two.
And Ace gives you a big old people's eyebrow.
These
It
are
doesn't matter
my.
what your
Ace.
name is.
Ace, I bet you he gets my name wrong.
Probably.
Alfred
Probably don't get our
Alfred
nicknames
leans
either.
into you, Braddock, and goes, I bet he gets mine wrong too.
And I go, what the fuck? Who are you? Like Dwight.
Yeah, that is forever the best scene. Go ahead, Austin. I think we're done fucking around.
Are you sure?
No, we
Jesus.
probably got another
Never.
3 jokes, but we
Just
may as
start
well
talking
move.
about wrestling, why don't you?
We already did wrestling, and then we did the
No,
office.
good.
Anyway, go ahead.
We pepper that in regularly.
These are my companions, Ace and Braddock. Who is there? Is there somebody else with us?
Yeah, Alfred's there, but he's got his hood
Tipton and Alfred and the
Oh,
captain.
on. Well, hang on. Let's back up. Did you bring Tipton? I guess you brought. Well, did you bring the captain and Tipton with you?
I figure it's the 6
here,
of us.
I'll
We're
tell
all
you
going
this.
in.
I'll tell you this. The captain would have offered to stay by the boat, keep an eye on Tipton. She thinks she can handle him.
Yeah, definitely she can.
But that's up to you guys. If you want to bring them with you, they're with you. If not, they're not.
I figured I was thinking everybody was going to be with us, and then when the combat comes, we're the champions. They are just our emissaries.
It's up to you guys. I don't care.
But that's up. Yeah, if you guys want to leave them with the boat, we can. But I also figure once we've solved
just
this
thinking-
shit, the boat is moot
Right.
because we have access to the rest of
I-
Stone Shore's stuff.
I was thinking of just taking, if anyone, just Al and Braddock and Ace.
I mean, we could do that too.
It does not matter
Because
to me.
I'm going to introduce
Spoiler alert,
but
it's gonna
Al-
work
but Al's
the
the
same
one-
regardless.
Yeah.
them.
So
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Behind
sure.
it.
Fuck it.
Let's say
So there's only 6.
Yeah, it'd be 6 of you.
There's only 6 of us all together.
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, we would probably not split the party.
Okay. So he's aware of who Tipton is. He says, Mr. Langley, always a pleasure. He points to the captain. He goes, I've seen you around. You're a member of the militia? She goes, yes, sir.
Captain Gloria Tucker.
Yeah, she says, yes, I went over with the second wave, received a promotion over there. Don't know if it's recognized by the crown, but pleasure. And,
Will be when we're done.
And
Well, the promotion was by the crown, but yes, these are where there are some fortuitous events that have come to a head all at once, and we stand at the pinnacle of a wave, and we are about to see if that wave is going to break or if it swells back down. We
all right.
went to Stone Shore and we found it empty. Everyone was gone. It took us quite a while to get the town up and running again, and then to try and figure out what had gone wrong and where everybody was. Through
That's
the course of
sounds
events.
crazy.
Yeah, I would love to tell it to you over a beer, my friend.
He says,
Maybe someday soon we can.
sure, sure.
Um, we found out through uh, different people and through Tipton here and through others something that my father has been up to. I'm not sure who. I'm not sure who knows or how far it goes, but we had to start somewhere, and I had to trust somebody. And somebody who I trusted, I don't. You remember my uncle Al?
Yes, a terrible, terrible thing that happened to him.
He is the one
He was a
who.
traitor, though. You do remember. Because I don't know if you remember all the way back to episode 1. Your father said he was a traitor and executed him on the grounds of treason. But anyway,
Yes,
that's why I'm.
he was. He was. He was. But he was. But he did. He did. You're right. Yes, I. He did betray my father, but that's because my father betrayed all of us first.
I'm sorry. I don't understand your meaning.
Ace tosses the documents on the table.
Perfect.
He says, he kind of like he kind of like takes a look at him. He goes, what is all this? He looks at him. He doesn't like dismiss them, but he wants you to tell him.
These are manifests. You can see here of amount sold and who they were sold to and who they were sold by. And you can see here what was being sold was people and who they were being sold by was my father.
He looks at you. His eyes go huge, and then he picks up the all the paperwork and he starts flipping through it and like as he's like reading one, he like flips it over and he flips over like a third and like finally like all the papers just like fall out of his hands in shock.
And this is if I can continue on with my Padawan, Tipton would have spoken up here too, to have said that this did happen. He helped.
He pops
He
in. He pops in and he says, Colonel, I know our paths didn't cross often, but what's being said is true. I was commissioned to help keep these transactions under wraps, as it were. And the colonel's like, under wraps? He says, I mean, obviously I can understand why someone would want to keep this secret, but he's like, what the hell could you do to help him? He's like, as far as I know, as far as I recall, you were just more of a PR guy, right? Tipton's like,
I look over at Tipton and I tell him, go ahead and tell him.
He says, yes, young Nitsu's father commissioned myself and Constance. You remember Constance? And the colonel's like, yeah. I remember Constance. She was all right. And then she seemed to kind of rub everyone the wrong way.
She won't rub anyone anymore.
Wow.
He's like, that sounds mighty grisly. And Tipton's like, and you remember Cronog, large fella? And the colonel's like, yeah, tough son of a bitch if I recall. And Tipton's like, the toughest. He commissioned us to, forgive my grisly language here, but he commissioned us to take pieces of Alfred and spread them out in the new land of the colony as to prevent a possible resurrection. And like he was sitting down, and you see him like catch himself because he almost fell out of his chair. And he's like, he looks at Nitsu and he's like, for real?
Ace is gonna light a torch and move it closer to Alfred and say, for real. as he
Uh,
lights, as he illuminates his
yeah.
face.
So he pulls down his hood and he goes, this is a lot. You guys have thrown a whole lot at this dude who was getting ready for bed, and he's like, my stars. He says, he says, he takes out a handkerchief out of his back pocket and he starts to dab his forehead with it. He's every single Southern lawyer you've ever seen in a movie, and
I take out my snuff box and offer him one.
yeah,
Right?
he says no.
That's right.
You still got your what?
He takes out his snuff box and
Oh.
offers him one. Some
Oh,
nasal tobacco.
Okay. He's like, no, I'm thanks, I'm trying to quit. Well, this is certainly not what I expected at this hour, but what are you proposing here, son? He's like, these are big statements. He's like, what are your plans?
To take this to the council and challenge my father.
He lets out a big old sigh and he's like, that's what I was afraid of. Fuck.
We can do nothing less. He's enslaved people around him. This is why all of the kingdoms have started to cut us off and have severed diplomatic ties with us. This is why my father had to send out a colony to try and continue on and to try and get new resources from somewhere else, because no one will trade with us anymore. Everybody else sees us for what we are, except for us.
The look on his face is he knows you're right. This has to be done, but he is not fucking looking forward to it at all. Because he may as well, he's like chief of police, right? Basically. And he's like, he says, all right, he says, let me make some calls. And because I don't have it, again, he doesn't have a phone, he says, all right.
He'd have runners. He'd have people that he could contact and stuff.
Well, here's the thing, like, I don't want to bog this down with a bunch of other NPCs. He says, I'll send word out. I'll get the council members here early in the morning. And you'll have your charges. Fuck. I am not looking forward to putting those handcuffs on. He's like, he's not going to go down easy.
If need be, this can be by royal decree. I'll put everything I have and anything I have on the line and at stake for this.
Well, son, I believe what you have on the line will be your life. You know how these things. You know how this is going to go.
As it should be. If
he says, yeah, I mean, it's your hide. He's like, it's fucking my hide too. And then he kind of laughs. He's like, but yeah, this you can see like on his face, like it's coming over him. He's like, he's with you. Like this can't go on. He's just not. He's not looking forward to it, and I would think that's understandable. But he's gonna do it. And yeah, you guys have exactly what you want. He says, I'm gonna leave you with this. You're gonna need these. Take them with you. Go get a room somewhere. Find a place to sleep tonight, and just don't come back here early in the morning. He gives you a time, let's say like 5 in the morning. He's like, just be in the area. He doesn't want you to be in his house when the council's there. He just wants you to be close by, which is not a problem
Sure.
for you guys. You guys have all your disguises, all that shit. It's all good.
Sure.
And he hands you. He goes into like a hutch cabinet thing, and he takes out like a small stack of papers, And he goes, if I know your father as well as I think I do, you're gonna need these. And he says, Mr. Booth, wouldn't you agree? You know what this is. Alfred looks at him and goes, yeah, they're gonna need those. And he hands them to you. And here's what I've done, boys. We are dropping out of character. Depending on how this went, I think this is a good time to kind of cut off here. Depending on how this went, if you brought the charges, this will all be like said in character, but this is a good time to do it since we have like 25 minutes. I have the way things go in Stone Shore is there's a trial by combat, and you guys being on the council gets to decide this, but they're going to side with you. I found like 5 maps. They're all the same size, but they have different things in the way, and they're an arena, right? It's going to be an arena combat, and I'm going to let you guys pick what it looks like. Or you can go with something bare bones. So, is somebody still presenting? Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, here's the bare bones one. Did it change?
Trying to refresh my screen.
I see it.
Okay. So there's the bare bones one.
My roll 20's up now, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're good. So just a couple of columns, okay?
Okay.
Here's your other options. And I would love if we could make a decision on this tonight.
Okay.
Since we have the time. This one. I need to. I have 4 other options for you as well, so don't worry. So
do we
these
start
like,
on these elevated platforms?
Yeah, these are where the flags are, like elevated platforms. Let's call them 15 feet, and then the like walls in the middle. Let's call them 5 feet. Here's another one. It has everything's low to the ground. There will be like
starting out like these gates here and here.
Yeah, these like corner one. Everything that looks like a column is gonna be a column. So like these corner things, and then the ones on the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west.
Yep.
Those are columns. Everything else, there's pits.
Wall.
There's pits there, and the things in the middle will be like 5 feet. Let's see, what else do we got? What's this one?
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically...
The elevated balance beam course, I think I know.
Yeah. Yeah, this one... Look, the guy who made all these had 5 of them, and I'm like, I'm going to give you all the options, because he made them.
Oh, yeah, no, they're all dope. Like,
somebody should see these.
For an arena campaign?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this
want these.
This one has a big-ass pit in the middle of it. I'm sure there will be a way to make the pit fall. I will come up with that if this is the one you pick. And
are those elevated pillars?
All these things that look like big crates.
The silver crates, yeah.
Yeah, let's say they're all 10 feet high.
Okay.
And then the big thing on the like west side of the pit, that's another 5-foot barricade.
Okay.
And then here's the final option. I don't remember what it looks like.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot.
This is like step ups. So like a big tall center platform.
There's going to be a lot more to manage, but
the choice is obviously yours. Here's what it was going to be if you guys just decided to go fight him. It was going to be his home fucking turf, and it was going to be bad. But just some kind of temple, and God knows what would have been in there.
Maybe if we choose majority rules.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got three people.
I'm fine with that. There's 3 of us. I like bare bones, but
I like
what do
1
you
and
guys
3.
think?
1 and 3 are my favorite ones.
Okay, is
So
this,
this
one?
one?
Or
Yes, this is 1.
Okay, and then 3 was this one.
No, then
No,
was it that
the
one?
back one.
Which, this one?
Well,
maybe?
actually,
No,
no,
one
it
more.
was that one, I think.
Okay.
Because the back one more, I think, was the one I kind of liked.
This one.
No, the other direction.
Okay.
Jesus, Adam,
let
if
me
you need
just
me to
keep
help
going
you,
through
roll
them.
funny.
No.
Okay.
No,
The
not
one with
that
the
one.
crates?
No,
No.
what was the very first one you showed us past the bare bones one?
It was this one.
Because there were 5.
Yes. This was
No,
the
'cause
first
there
one
was-
I showed you. I promise.
There was one before that that wasn't elevated platforms
No,
that
there-
looked similar. It had stuff in the way.
Maybe we just go through them again.
Here, I'll go
And you
through them
can-
again because I promise you that was after the bare bones one, the elevated platforms was the first one I showed you. Because I went right to left
Okay.
on my screen. So
Okay.
there's
Gotcha.
elevated platforms, then this one. Okay. Then
Okay.
this one, which I don't think you guys liked. It's the balance beam.
Yeah,
of
no.
course. This one with like the fucking Rancor pit in it.
Yeah.
No.
And then this is the last one, which I don't think you guys were too fond of either.
No.
If
So
you
yeah,
guys don't
yeah.
like any of these, I can find something else.
no, for sure the barebone one I like a lot, and then the third one I kind of like.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I'd go bare bones and maybe the third one. What do you think,
So-
Austin?
The question I would have, Adam, is what would be the? I mean, I know it doesn't actually matter, I guess, but what's the purpose of this arena we're in outside of combat? Like outside of 1v1.
I'm sure you
Entertainment?
mean like in the fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, like theater, gladiatorial battles for entertainment, death row inmates fighting for freedom, kind of shit. I don't know.
It's a
I didn't-
fucked up
I wasn't
society
ready for that question.
Sure.
Huh?
But in that sense, I would lean more towards 1 in fiction reasons because I like that. My second one would be whichever one John wants because I feel like he's more adept at combat than I am.
So
Yeah.
this is
The way I look at it is they're giving us all these options because they set the arena up in multiple different ways.
yeah, these are just
So we're getting-
configurations.
We're getting to choose the configuration of the
No,
arena.
yeah, I get that, and I
So-
think it would be. I mean, if I was going to choose, I probably would want it empty. That totally levels the playing ground. They
No
can't
more
hide behind
secrets. He
anything.
needs to
Neither
face
can
the
we.
light.
Everything's out. Everything's out in public, right?
No more secrets, Your Majesty. Let's make him face the light.
Okay, so we're going bare bones, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so you guys
Mhm.
know, this thing is roughly 80 feet by 70 feet. None of these, let's just say, just to keep it simple, if you're behind a pillar, or if there's any kind of a pillar in the way, it's a +2 to AC, whichever direction. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna
Yep.
go half cover. The whole fucking shebang.
Cool.
So, just because I don't want to fucking mid-combat, I don't want to deal with, is it 3/4, is it half, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I don't typically.
I know you guys.
I just ask if there's cover.
You guys don't sweat that shit like I do, but so, all right, this is what we're gonna go with. There's a standard starting distance per the crown of 40 feet. So I'm going to draw. Can somebody give me that same 40 feet? Like there. Can somebody else draw that line for me? And just hold it while I do this. Okay. Wait, I need to get a darker color. Keep holding it. That's still orange, but it's good enough. Okay.
So
Good enough.
how many? I guess we
You
can
can
ask the
let me
council
know.
that later.
Okay.
Thank you.
So would we know how many people the king would be able to choose to fight with him?
So that's what it is, right? The reason I gave you guys this option of trying to go about this through the legal channels is they're gonna go get him, and he's gonna be brought in, and we're gonna read out charges and shit, and it's gonna be a thing. This place is gonna be full of people. He's gonna be by himself. The evidence that Alfred has is compelling enough to give you guys this 3v1, right?
Nice.
So,
Well, it's also who's willing to put their life on the line. I feel like.
Well,
And
that's
you-
what
you
I was wondering if maybe the brothers were going to be involved. But it's interesting if it's just going to be him.
Because the thing is if you look at his brothers or anybody else, if they didn't know that he was a part of this shit, then they wouldn't be supporting him. They can say that they wouldn't act as his second or his third,
Yeah.
right?
Also-
Well,
Like,
and
no one else.
I don't know. I'm going off of Ace's knowledge, which from Nitsua, the way Nitsua has played up into now, and the way he's talked, is he believes his brothers are likely doing the same nasty shit his dad is. He said that before. So that's where Ace is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. You never know. They could just be
Also-
shit older brothers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Also, think about this. If fuck off. If he goes down, right? Like, if the king whether or not they were behind him or not, if the king fucking goes down, one of them is gonna be next in line, right? Presumably.
Yeah.
So like, maybe they're just not that motivated, you know?
Maybe.
Do we have any evidence that shows that they were a part of this?
I don't know.
Because if they did, I don't know how you have the combat balanced, but it would make sense to have the two brothers there as well. So, like, it would be 3v3.
It doesn't matter. If he's already got a balance, that's fine. You could even have them symbolically in shackles in the stands, like awaiting the outcome.
Yeah, because if we had evidence,
I'll think about it, and I will have you a satisfying answer. What
because
you
if
guys
not,
need
they're
to
the
do is
Yeah,
They're
we
the next
gotta
ones on
focus
my
on
list.
combat.
tape up your fists and write your prologues, like
right. Because
Just a-
that's the thing. If
a paragraph or two at best, or a couple of sentences that you can extrapolate from. So,
because Nitsua would be coming after them next. Just to be clear,
I mean,
if he found they were a part of it, because they're just as bad as he
Well,
is.
yeah,
What Nitsua
well,
is.
Don't worry
also,
about any of
Nitsua, your prologue can be snuffing out every last stitch of slavery.
right.
This is the climax. Like, we kill the bad guy, credits roll.
Yep.
Credits don't show you the fucking 40 hours of fucking delegation
Right.
at the end of the movie. That's why people are mad at fucking episode 1
I am going to.
Okay.
You guys are going
That's
to.
very true.
and 2.
You guys are going
And
to
two.
fight this guy, hopefully defeat him without any casualties, and then we're going to maybe do 5 minutes of dialogue afterwards, and then the ball is yours, and I am done. I am just listening. I am now
Yeah.
a fucking audience member. So,
I can. Okay. Like
Yeah.
I said,
So you get to paint your exact picture for what
I mean, I would
the
keep playing
ra-
just to do
you-
all of that stuff. I
you
get
paint.
it, but
Well, no,
not
that's the thing
game.
is,
That's not the game.
I'm going to.
That-
I'm actually going to look back through my YouTube history and see if I have the last session of John's game recorded, because we did prologues. And I will, if I have that, I will send it to you guys so you can have like an example.
fuck that. Go get the timestamps for Adventure Zone.
Well, Austin listened to
If
all
you-
of that.
But I'm saying if you're gonna get prologue, if you want to show them a good prologue, that's a good prologue.
That's a good prologue for that show.
Fair enough.
It's, I mean,
Ours is probably a better example of basic prologues.
yeah.
All right,
Well, I have
one
a-
second,
well-
guys. I'll be right
All
back.
right.
Well, I
Okay.
put a lot into it. I put a lot of myself into this, so I know exactly what Nitsui wants to do.
Sure, I'm sure you do. It shouldn't be a difficult thing for you to come up with, right? I don't have the prologue from
Well,
John's,
right,
just so
and-
you guys know.
Sure, no, yeah, I got this now. I figured it out. Whether or not they are or aren't a part of it, he would
Right.
do the same thing. So
Yeah, that's
cool.
on
So,
you.
yeah,
I've developed the
I'm
bad
excited.
guy. So,
I'm excited. Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited to finally take my DM hat off. That's
I know what you mean. It's kind of it's not bittersweet. It's like sour, sweet and sour.
by the time
The sweet
you
and
get
sour
to
is
the
good.
end of it, I'm
You're-
ready.
There's a lot of yeah. You get done with having to try and think ahead and look for more maps and
No, the best
But
is I
then
get
you
to
also
show
get
up with
to-
a notebook. Like,
Yeah.
That's it. I get to show up and play and have fun. But yeah, like, so our first, like, we did a campaign. I was a fighter cleric multi-class, and I was like, he opens up a school to train people to fight better, and and then I think maybe we did a tiny bit of role play. Like, if I see an opening for it, like, I might like if you guys were like, I open up a school to teach people how to fight, I might
bet.
be like, hey, one of your students comes up to you and goes, check this out, and you'd be like, okay, and then I'll let you play off that. It's like I said, it's not gonna be. It's as much or as little as you want it to be, but like,
Yeah.
I said, do like 5 minutes each, a type 5. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
And you can always jump into somebody else